Got them on every floor now. What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with my lifestyleacademy.com, where we help you go from average to savage in your home business. And today is Money Monday. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. If you're not, you will be very soon. Why? Because I've got Nicole on, who is absolutely smashing it right now. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. We're live in groups. We're live on YouTube. We're live all over the place. So I'd recommend you share this. I'd recommend you tag your teammates. Share this in your groups. Share this in your chats. Why? Because Nicole just got started with us last month. Now, she does have experience. She's not like a brand new network marketer, but brand new with our company and literally 100 plus customers since last month. How many of you think if you could get 100 new customers in the next 30 days, you'd be pretty excited? How many of you think if you had people on your team that got 100 customers, how about 100 customers in the next 12 months, let alone in the next 30 days? That would be pretty neat. So I'm going to have her share a little bit about her story because she's obviously crushing it. But I also want her to share, obviously after her story, we're going to share some different strategies that are working for her. And she's just very consistent. She's very consistent. She's authentic. She tells people what she's doing, what she's excited about. And I think one of the things a lot of you struggle with is that analysis paralysis. And, obviously the longer you do this, the easier it gets to come up with content. But in the beginning, you just have to kind of wing it. Let's keep it real. I always like to say, I don't like to fake it till I make it, but I like to faith it till I make it. You got to have a little blind faith in the beginning because you're clueless. Everyone, smash the heart button if you will admit that you were clueless, or drop clueless in the comments if that's you or that was you. I know that was me when I got started. So Nicole was with the same company for over 14 years. And unfortunately, that company made a horrible decision to get rid of the MLM model and go pure affiliate, only paying you on your personal customers. And I think even your customers have to re-enroll. It's like a horrible, terribly unethical thing that happened to her. But hey, sometimes blessing in disguise. Why? Nicole wasn't excited. She wasn't excited in her current business. She was still working it because she was making money, but she wasn't excited. Came over and partnered with us just last month, just in October, and literally rank advanced, I don't even know how many times, like 6, 7 times, Nicole?
Something like that.
It's a lot. She's crushing it right now. Her team is on fire. Her team is duplicating. So she's also recruiting. We're going to talk about customer acquisition, but in addition to that, she's recruiting, she's duplicating, her team is crushing. So just understand she's doing both the recruiting and the selling using the strategy she's going to share. But before that, Nicole, can you just share a little bit about your story? Like, where were you before network marketing? What was your background? And I think people will be really inspired to hear that.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. So I have actually this is my third network marketing business. I sold candles years and years ago for about 8 years. And I loved the business model. It was when my husband and I first kind of got together. I was looking for extra money. I have a college degree. We were both working full time. And I was like, okay, why can't we go on vacation and do things? Like, you think when you get a real job, you're going to make some real money. And it just wasn't happening. So I was looking for something else, but I wanted something that would be on my time and my terms. So I started selling candles with a wonderful company, and I did great for 8 years. I went to their conferences, really loved it, but I wasn't passionate about selling candles, right? I was like, okay, this is fun, but how do I?
You mean you didn't have any life-changing testimonials?
Right. No, but it was fun. I met a lot of people. I was introduced to personal development, just loved it. And it's funny, I was introduced to Brian Tracy, and I really hooked onto his stuff. And I was like, wow. And when I joined the next company, I actually went to a Chalene Johnson event, and he was the guest speaker. And but it was like a fashion show, cheerleader type event. And I was like, what is happening here? What am I here? I was I took my mom. We had an absolute blast. If you know Chalene Johnson, it was super fun. But while everybody was running to buy clothes, I was running to try to meet Brian Tracy. Like I was like, I shook his hand, met him, told him I loved his books. And, so personal development is a huge part of who I am and where I am. But yes, 14 years in the last health and wellness company where I did have success and I did have passion and I was helping people. And at that time I was helping people. I was 34, mom of two. My youngest was 2 months old. My oldest was 4 years old. They're now 14 and 18. It's crazy. So they've seen me work out at home. They've seen me work from home all of these years. And I absolutely loved it. But I got stuck for sure. The last 5 years, it wasn't the same. Things were shifting and everybody was like, even my husband was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just keep trusting the process. And I had this like blind loyalty, but a lot of it was connected to my customers. Like I couldn't leave. And what else was I going to do? I didn't want to look at anything else. I didn't want to start over. And then on September 30th, the announcement came through and I stomped around like a toddler for a week. I was like, oh my God, like I've been so loyal. What the heck? And then I literally was like, wait, I've been friends with that John guy since 2016. What does he do? And so I just, from watching these calls and just seeing, and I was like, okay, wait, what does he do? Because everybody was going to all these different, and I was like,
Yeah, they were making quick decisions. It was like 2 days, 4 days, like,
yeah.
Really? You can make like that big of a decision after a couple of days? But yeah, I mean, it seemed like some people were just trying to get that like first mover's advantage where you were like, let me do a little due diligence. Let me, look at a few options and then make the best decision, not just jump on the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just grateful that I had again, this is like the common theme, know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust. You got to know, like, and trust the person that you join. And so immediately I was like, what does John do? Right. And again, like you said, a blessing in disguise. I'm having fun again. People are just commenting from my social media, like, oh my gosh, you're back from 14 years ago. You're back, like you're fire, everything, and so much excitement. And so I sidetracked, but I was helping moms lose weight years ago, like new moms, but now I'm helping perimenopause moms like figure out what the heck is happening to our body. So not only was it a blessing in disguise for the business, I have lost 6.9 pounds and 8.5 inches in 6 weeks with these products, shifting my nutrition. And not even like that, I've been stuck for 5 years. Like my body's been just like, I was trusting the process.
Right.
And so a blessing in disguise on both levels for sure.
Right. I love it. And it's cool too, because, you come from a health and wellness company, right? A company that strives on weight loss and before and after. So to be in the same company for that 14 years, that's crazy. And then to come over here in just a matter of weeks, getting results. So clearly making those changes work for you. And you have a lot of other success stories already in the community, the education. It's not just like, here, drink this and magical things happen. It's encompassing all of these little changes, tweaks, because obviously you didn't need to make big changes like some people, right? But you did make some changes, some tweaks, and look at you now. And then on top of that, over 100 customers. Do you know how many personal recruits you've enrolled?
20-ish.
20?
About 20.
So in 6 weeks, 20 personal recruits, 100 customers, which is a great ratio, by the way, right? 5-to-1 ratio right there. That's awesome. And then you have people on your team that are getting customers. I think Shannon, did she just surpass 100?
Yeah, she hit 100 too. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, that's one thing, right? How many of us are like, yeah, I'd love to get 100 customers. Then how many of you would be even more excited if you have people on your team? They're getting 100 customers. I mean, some of us are just trying to get our first 5 to 10, but the goal really should be to get dozens, if not hundreds of customers, because guess who are the easiest people to recruit for those of you that want to build teams? If you had to guess, happy customers, right? People that are already using the products. I just had a woman this morning say, I wasn't planning on selling this stuff, but I'm getting such great results on the products. And I'm like, yeah, why would you keep it a secret? She's like, right. So I always tell people it's hard for me to ever build a huge customer pod, a huge customer base, because I always end up recruiting my customers, right? Those are some of the best promoters because they're using the product. It's natural, it's organic, they love it. And if they're getting results, they're simply just sharing something that's working for them. So it doesn't feel as salesy. Really, the people that don't want to do sales, it's typically because they know they're selling something they don't believe in. If you believe in it and you know it can help someone, why would you keep it a secret? So I'm curious as we pivot into that conversation on strategy. If someone was getting started, and there's a, with our team, obviously there's a lot of tools and resources and groups and training, but what are some of the things that you would recommend before we get into like how to get 100 customers? How about someone that just wants to get their first 5 to 10 customers? Do you have any pointers, anything you would share for that person that's just trying to like get it off the ground, which is kind of the hardest part, right? Once you get those first couple rank advancements, you get a taste of success, you get a couple daily pay deposits. It's like, oh, now I'm starting to see things happen for me. So what would be some of your advice for someone that is at that level of just wanting to get 5 to 10 customers?
Yeah. So I'm even sharing this with my team. We have our own little group chat, and I'm like, okay, so some of you have not been around as long as me for 14 years, sharing consistently on social media. So let's talk about what you can do now to kind of get started. And my biggest tip, something that in my head is that Gary Vaynerchuk book from back in the day, like jab, 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 hook, right? So I tell people, that's kind of, think of that on your social media, jab, 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 hook, right? So the 3 jabs are going to be adding value, entertaining people, posting on social media. And then your hook is, hey, here's my results, or here's anyone want to join me. And I need to share this too. Like a lot of people say, well, I just would like to use the products for a while, get results, and then I'll share. Why not take people with you on the journey? So at my last company 14 years ago, I was 2 months postpartum. I hadn't even had 1 day of trying the products, or I was doing a 90-day fitness program. I didn't have results on day 1, but I was like, oh my gosh, moms, hey, want to lose the baby weight together? I hear this works because other people are getting results. Want to try this together? And that was my same strategy here on day 1. I'm like, I don't know if these products are going to work, but it looks like they do from what everybody else is saying. So do you want to just try them together? And honestly, like a lot of the times people, and I know the team has amazing scripts, and I definitely recommend go look at them and grab some wording. But honestly, my invites for the last 14 years of, hey, want to do this together? Want to do this with me? Who wants to do this with me? Let's see if this will work together. Like it's nothing fancy, because if it sounds too fancy and too scripty, like you've gotten those messages in your inbox, you ghost those people. You don't answer because you're like, wait, you don't even know.
Or it's like a novel. It's like a long dissertation of what they're doing. Like, how about, hey, how are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, you want to take so for social media wise, do the whole jab, 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 hook, right? So just add your value, gives people a recipe, tell people, how you lay out your clothes the night before. So you go and do your workout, tell people how you meal prep a little bit, nothing complicated, but also make sure you're sharing about your life. Like I know I'm kind of an open book on social media. Some people aren't. They really keep things close and they don't like to talk about. So it's fine. You could do it either way. You don't have to be an open book, but also make sure you tell people make sure people know who you are. Like some people follow me for just following my journey over the years of being a mom, like, and what we've gone through with the girls, and just they're dancers there. So some people have just grown up watching my girls for the last 14 years, and they come to my page every day just to see what's up with my kids. I talk about my dogs. I love true crime. I just talked about Yellowstone. I didn't give anything away, but so just things that you're interested in, you want to make sure you're talking about so that people can just get to know, like, and trust you. So that's the social media side. And then the people aren't going to just come flocking.
Do you have a different philosophy, Facebook versus Instagram, or do you do the both on the same?
So I'm a Facebook. I don't know if it's because I'm 48 and I don't wear makeup. This is what my hair looks like every day. Like, I don't know if it's just, like the Instagram kind of just, I don't use filters. I'm not really like, so I just feel like I can be more myself on Facebook and everybody kind of sees my stuff more. I do post on Instagram and I do try reels and I do stories.
Mostly you're doing
I-
most of your lead gen, your customer acquisition from Facebook.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a different style on Instagram. It's, the people that are crushing on Instagram, they kind of niche down where it's like just the same stuff over and over again. Where Facebook, like you said, family, dogs, your true crime, your favorite show, whatever. Like I'm the same way. I like to mix things up. And like I posted a video the other day of me playing pickleball, in my basement. I got this like dink master. And it's like there's people commenting, messaging me, liking that like I haven't talked to in a very long time or ever before, asking me where did I get it or what paddle do I use? Or one guy's like, you need to get a better paddle. I'm like, well, that's not my primary paddle. That's my in the basement practice paddle. But the point is like mixing it up and not overthinking it so much. And you said it, it's like you share like, hey, I'm going to start meal prepping this week. Never done it before. Who wants to do this with me? Hey, I'm going to try doing, I don't know, this is like an intense example, but I'm going to try doing 75 hard. Like you'd be like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do that too. Or, hey, I'm going to try this 5-day drop program. I'm going to try this fill in the blank. I'm going to start working from home and making extra money, online. I've never done it before. Anybody else ever done affiliate marketing? Who wants to do this with me? You want to check it out? I mean, sometimes we just overthink that. You could do something as simple as unboxing your new products, and just saying, hey, apparently this does this and apparently this does that. So like you said, you don't have to act as if you're already getting results or you're already crushing it. In fact, that's actually part of the problem with social media is people don't relate to people like that, right? Like I love Shalene, but and obviously we have a relationship with her now, but when we first started following her or Gary Vaynerchuk, I can't like reach out to Gary. I can't message him. He's too big. He's too popular. He's too famous. He's too much of an influencer, right? The beauty with all of us that are watching this right now is we're not these huge influencers. We're not some celebrity that has all these followers. We just post and pray and just sit back and watch all the customers come in. You can actually engage and react and respond to people and have those one-on-one conversations. And like you said, it doesn't even have to be about your business. You can be talking about your favorite TV show, Yellowstone, or your political views or whatever. And all of a sudden you're in a conversation with someone that you're now getting to know and they like you. And if they like you, they're more likely to do business with you when you do promote something that you're using or promoting.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the flip side is obviously people, just because you do that hook, people aren't going to flock to be like, yes, oh my gosh. So you have to do some work behind the scenes. So you have to get in people's inboxes and get to know people. And so I always start with a list of 100 people. I just write down the first 100 names I see on Facebook and I draw a line through 10 of them. And every day I grab the first 10, I take the first name, I go to my Facebook and I'm like, okay, what is this person up to? I watch their stories, I check their feed. And then I might, a lot of times people are like, I don't want to just go in their inbox. I don't always. I'll sometimes for a few days, a few weeks, just kind of like and comment on their stuff and just start engaging with me because the algorithm wants that, right? You got to go talk to people so that, because then they're going to come to your page and they're like, oh yeah, what's Nicole up to? Like, and they're going to go. And so it's that back and forth. So you have to do a little work on that end as well when you go like and comment on other people's stuff so that they will then come to your page. And a lot of times the conversation does happen organically and then you are in your inbox, in their inbox, or they're in your inbox, and then even a couple days later they're like, oh wait, I just saw you post like your before and after results. I'm in perimenopause too. What are you doing? So they just think of you when you're just messaging them and you're just saying, hey, oh my gosh, that your Christmas tree is beautiful. What kind of tree is it? Whatever. You just start talking and you're being genuinely interested. A lot of times, here's another mistake people will make. People will say to me, okay, then how do I turn the conversation into an invite? I'm like, well, you don't always. Like your strategy isn't to build a relationship with them so that you can then sell them something. Like it'll happen and let it happen. Just keep being you and keep being consistent.
And then how do you pivot when you are wanting to pivot? Do you lead with a certain product, a certain program? Do you kind of customize it? Like, what is your mindset there?
Yeah, it kind of depends on who the person is and how,
Right.
what we're talking about. Sometimes it's a like today I posted about a particular topic, so people are asking, okay, a product, and so people are asking, okay, what is that product? And so I am asking them, but a lot of times if I have a group starting, like a post Thanksgiving, our team's doing the 5-day drop, so it might be too late for them to join for this one, but what are we going to focus on in December? Like a 12 days of fitness or something. Like, so I like to have a date set of something so that then it gives me a reason to reach out. Hey, I know we talked a few weeks ago, I'm just following back up. I have a group starting, December 1st or whatever, January, even if you can start pivoting into January, I have the group starting January 6th. It sometimes takes a little bit for your product to come in. How can I help you? My common question is, are you currently working on a health and fitness plan? And that might just be something I ask. Are you currently working on any health and fitness goals? Something like that.
And then out of your 100 customers, like how many of them do you think came to you? How many of them did you reach out to? Like, what do you think the ratio is there if you had to guesstimate?
So this is abnormal, but they did all come to me.
Wow,
and that hasn't been the norm in the past. And I think a lot of people have been coming in my inbox that are from other companies or are on the team and have said, well, so did everybody just come with you? Honestly, no. I would say 60% are past customers that were with the past company with me. The 20 people that I've recruited, maybe I would say half were coaches with me on the other team. The other half were not. And the same thing, 40% of my customers, I'm estimating, they didn't join my last MLM. They didn't want anything to do with what I was doing there. And they've been following me for 14 years, but some of them reached out and was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you're doing something else. Cause actually I am interested in what you're doing now. And I'm like, oh, so they weren't interested. So it wasn't me. So you can't take things personal. It wasn't, I have reached out to all, 4,000 people on my friends list over the past 14 years, whatever. I started with 250 friends 14 years ago and grew up to 5.7 followers now just on Facebook personal page. But they didn't want to do what I was doing before, and they want to do what they're doing now. So no, not all 120 have been from what I was doing before either. So that's fun. Yeah.
So impressive. And then what does your follow-up look like? What are some of your follow-up strategies? And are some of these people, buying right away? Are some of them, it's like 4, 5, 6 weeks before they finally, what's that look like for your follow-up?
It's a pretty big split. Some people like, whatever you're doing, I want to do it. Tell me exactly what package to buy and I'm in. And within an hour, they're in the system. But the majority are not like that. So the majority are, okay, give me some information. I ATM them in the groups. We start talking. I send them maybe a video, and it might take a couple weeks. There are people that I shared with, day one last month that still haven't signed up. So my follow-up is, hey, did you have a chance to look in the group in that video I tagged you in? Just checking in. I know it's a busy time of year. Have you had a chance to take a look at anything? Can I answer any questions for you? So it's just pretty simple. And if people are ghosting me, it's not happening right now, but it has happened in the past. I'll just say, hey, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Something like, like if it's been 3 or 4 times of them not answering my questions, I might just go in their inbox and say, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm here if you have any questions type thing. I just leave it open for them.
It is funny how simple that can be, though. It's just to be a good human, change the subject. And by the way, if you guys want to follow Nicole, it's Nicole H. Jones 12 on Facebook, or you can I think we'll just tag her in the comments and you can see kind of, what she's doing, how she's doing it. And I think what a lot of us, again, overthink is that relationship piece, the conversation piece. Now, you also can't sit back twiddling your thumbs, like posting and praying, someone's going to ask me about my product, someone's going to ask me about my opportunity. But I think a lot of us would probably admit that we're not showing up consistently. we're not leading with value, with storytelling, with talking about the benefits of a home business or the benefits of our products, or, maybe you're recording yourself just taking your products every morning. What if you just did that? What if you just did like 60 seconds every morning in your stories, just you taking your supplements, you taking your products? You could even pre-record it and then do like what's it called? Like where you time lapse it or something like that, right? I've seen people do this where it's like, Ashley Dawes does it a lot, where it's like, it's a speed up version, right? So it's probably a 5-minute video. She like condenses it down in 60 seconds. And I know some of us are going to be like, oh, technology. There's a website called Google. You can Google how to do this and how to do that, and go on YouTube and go on, ChatGPT. Like, it's not that complicated. So many of us, we overthink it. We think we need to be like these technical gurus. And listen, I'll tell you, I have a video editing team that does a lot of my videos. So one day when you're ready to outsource, you can outsource, and it's actually super cheap in the beginning. It's not that expensive to hire someone to help you with this stuff. But again, I think a lot of us just in the beginning, just start out organically, just start out authentically, just sharing your story, talking about what you're doing, what you're excited about, not being afraid of looking bad or being embarrassed or not having perfect lighting. Like, people need to see your face. They really do. They need to see you. They need to hear from you. Now, that's not the only way, right? Starting conversations is a really great thing that you can do. You can post without videos, without pictures, without talking to camera. You could do that too. I mean, there's definitely a lot of different things you can do. Get with your upline and look at some different curiosity post example ideas. But I think it's really, if you want to build a long-term business, you have to do what Nicole's talking about, which is really building the relationships, building the brand, building the reputation, showing up consistently. And it's always a boring topic, right? Oh, I got to be consistent. Well, it's not just being consistent, it's consistently getting better. If you watched my videos 10 years ago, or Nicole's videos when she first started doing it, you would be like, oh my, you'd be so motivated. You'd feel so motivated, because you'd be like, whoa, if those guys can do it, I'm going to crush it. It'd be inspiring for you, because you would see what we looked like and what we sounded like in the beginning. But again, like anything else, like anyone else, you have to start at suck. So embrace the suck it up, buttercup. Like, look, you got to remember this too. Some of you maybe aren't in great shape, right? And you're trying to sell weight loss. But I mean, I know this sounds weird, but I think there's people out there that are just like you that would actually rather buy from someone that needs to lose 70 pounds than someone that's like ripped with a 6-pack, because they're going, I can't relate to that person, right? In fact, they probably don't even like listening to that person, because it's so out of their realm of possibility. It's the same thing with a business like this. Like, you might think, oh, it's easier for John and Nicole to recruit because they've been doing this for so long. But the truth is, there were people that I recruited in the early days where I was brand new, just like them. But because I shared the opportunity, I shared my excitement, I introduced them to a tool, I introduced them to a video, I introduced them to my upline, right? Look, Nicole sets up a lot of chats. She puts me in chats all the time. That's why she's recruited 20 people. I still put all my prospects in chats. So if you just realize that, like, it doesn't matter if you're from Yale or jail, you're 18 or 88, it doesn't matter if you're making lots of money, or you've made lots of money, or you're super influential, or you have zero influence and you have no friends, no followers, no influence. We all start somewhere. But the beauty is in network marketing is you can put Nicole, you can put me, you can put your upline in chats, and we can help you make money. We can help you get that person on board. That's the beauty of a business like this, where you're a business for yourself, but you're never by yourself. Yeah. So don't be a fool. Use the tools. Nicole, what else would you say for people that are excited about the idea of like rank advancing and recruiting and selling on a consistent basis? Are there any things that, like, little tips and strategies, little tactics that maybe we didn't talk about that you think would also be valuable for the people watching today?
You definitely want to have, every Sunday I goal set. So I sit down and I pull out our goal sheet that we have, and I say, okay, what do I want to accomplish? What rank am I looking for? That, I mean, these first 6 weeks have been crazy. Like, John was just, recognized me for rank advancing, and I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm just literally just helping people. I'm just like getting people started. And, my first 20 people, I was just like, oh my gosh, let's just figure this out together. Let's just do this together. But I knew I wanted to take people on this journey with me. And I have I have to have a reason why. Like
Mm.
I knew, you have to remember too, when you get nervous about what are other people going to think, like my number one thing of the last 14 years has been those people don't pay your bills. So you
Amen.
not worry about what, and most of the time, those people that are like unfriending you or blocking you or making these snide little comments, like, are they super successful? Are those people you would take advice from? Like, are they crushing it in life? Like, most of
Exactly.
the time, no. So, and they're just offering, unsolicited advice. So I would definitely goal set. I'm huge, and Brian Tracy like totally turned me on goal setting. I just love sitting down, writing out my top 10 goals for the year, whether they're family, business, health and fitness, like all the things. And I take action. I write down, okay, so if I want to rank advance to the first rank, what are my 3 daily actions that I need to do, right? Post consistently on social media, message those 10 people to see if what they're doing. And you want to share your story. I do see a lot of people just post like, lost 5 pounds. And I'm like, okay, why, how, why, what was the goal? Tell me more. Like, you've got to tell, the story doesn't
That's a
have to
good
be,
point. Like I lost 5 pounds, 20 more to go. Yeah.
yeah, like tell the story. Like I've been posting, like I'm 48, I have PCOS, I'm in perimenopause, I was plateaued for the last 5 years. You know, can you relate to any of this? So you want people, when you're posting and sharing, you want people to be like, oh, that's me. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
that's me. Me too. Me too. So that's what you want to do. But I think goal setting is a really, like, don't just wing it. Don't just be like, I just want to be successful. We get that. I just want to make money. We get that. How much money do you want to make? What you have to know your daily action steps to get to that first rank, the second rank, what it all looks like. So make sure you like talk with your upline and have a plan written out and know. Like I've been doing little videos for our team since we're so new and I'm learning. I'm like, I don't know. Here's the first rank and here's how I did it. Like, look, and I flip the sheet over and I just talk through like, here's 5 customers, 500, 10 customers, 1,000. Like we just talk through things together. So I'm big on goal setting, knowing where you have to know where you're going. You can't just be like, I just want to be successful. It's great. We all do. You've got
Yeah.
to have a plan, like have a plan, have a
Yeah.
destination. Yeah.
I always say everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. And it's like, you can't have just a dream. You need a plan,
Yeah.
right? You're never going to accomplish your dream, your goal, if you don't map out the plan, and you have to do it consistently. You have to have like daily goals, weekly goals. I think one of the things, and I probably should talk about this more often, but I did this a lot in the early days and I still do it now, but now it's more automated, or it's more like, it's a part of my daily habits, but I would set reminders in my phone. I would set reminders in my phone, and it always helped me because, how many of us have like a to-do list, reminders, whatever? Like there's something about checking it off. Like, did I work out today? Check. Did I do a video today? Check. Did I do my follow-ups today? Check. And I would also recommend, if you don't have one, get like a tracker. Like we have a daily tracker. It's our FAME formula. In fact, if you want to check out our resources page, drop into the comments tracker, because we do have a daily tracker to help you track your goals, things that you should be doing every day. And it could be something as simple as wishing your friends on Facebook a happy birthday, reaching out to 10 people and starting a conversation, asking 5 people a day if they're open to fill in the blank, whatever. You want to promote the products, the system, the program, the opportunity, whatever. But again, if you don't have a goal, you don't have a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, because I do think there's like the daily goals, but there's also like weekly goals. Like I'll give you an example. Maybe not every day you're going to do a video, or maybe not every day you're going to reach out to 10 people a day, but maybe you say, hey, this week, I want to ask 25 people if they're open. I'm going to ask 25 people if they're open this week. That's 5 a day. Now, maybe one day it's like 15, another day it's less because you're busy, work, kids, sports, whatever, right? But you could have daily, weekly, and then also monthly goals. Like, how much do you want to make this month? Work backwards, right? How much volume do you have to do for the month? Okay, so let's figure that out per week. And this is not like, so I love Black Friday, Black November, that it's the biggest month of the year. Like our team is smashing it right now, but guess what that means? December is not going to be great, right? December can still be great for a regular month, but compared to November, you just have to use common sense. If I blow it out of the water in November, December can't possibly be as big, right? It's just, now I shouldn't say that because, there are some people that will rank advance and will have their biggest month in December, but typically it's someone that's like brand new, right? If someone's been here a year, the likelihood of December being bigger than November, probably not. But what should you then do when a sale is over? What should you do when a sale's over? Well, maybe you go back to basics. Maybe you go back to conversation starting, right? Starting conversations, building your brand, not promoting, So one of the things that our company is really good at is we do these killer promos. Sometimes they're mid-month promos that are really big. Sometimes it's end of the month. Some months we have big mid-month and end of the month. But what should you be doing in between that? Between that, you should be generating leads, building relationships, meeting new people, reconnecting with old people, putting out content. Now, again, this depends on your goals. So someone will say, how many videos should I be doing? I don't know. What are you trying to accomplish? And you also have to be careful. Sometimes, and Nicole kind of explained this, but I'm going to compare this to working out. If you said, hey, I want to start lifting weights, so I'm going to go to the gym for 3 hours the first day. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get super sore. You're not going to work out again for like 5 days. You did too much in one day. Like, you got to be realistic. Maybe you start with just walking. Maybe you just start walking once a day. Then you bump it up to twice a day. Then maybe you start lifting weights for 15 minutes a day. All of a sudden, again, you build and form these new habits. It's the same thing with videos. If you go, oh my gosh, I can't imagine doing a live video every day. These people in John's team that do live videos every day, they're crazy. Okay, well, how about you do a live weekly show? Once a week, you do a live show. You just are going live at the same time, just like Money Monday, right? Every Monday, I'm going live. Sometimes I go live by myself. A lot of times I have special guests, people like Nicole that are crushing it. Well, what if you did your own version of Money Monday? Right? Maybe you did your own weekly show on Tuesday nights, and then eventually it's twice a week. And again, it's just figuring out, like, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Work backwards, get with your mentor. But if you don't map out a plan, it's just a dream. It's a wish. It's just like, it's never going to happen. You have to have a plan in place. And I think this is probably one of the most important things for entrepreneurs to hear, especially those of you that are fairly new, because you can't just say, like Nicole said, I just want to make a lot of money. Like, what does that even mean? What's a lot of money? Like, my definition of a lot of money is very different than what it was when I got started 23 years ago. Let me just tell you. So your goals when you first get started are very important, because then you could say, okay, that's the goal. What do I have to do to make it happen? So you can kind of follow that plan and a plan of attack and building up that consistency, those habits, becoming disciplined where you're like, yeah, I don't feel like doing X, Y, Z today, but my goals and dreams don't care about my feelings. And my feelings certainly don't care about my goals and dreams. So I'm going to suck it up and do it anyway. Think about this. How many of you have a part-time job or have had a part-time job? Could you just say, I don't want to come into work today? Could you just say, hey, I'm not coming into work. I don't feel like it. And that's a job where you can never get rich. It's funny how we start a business like this, and this mindset is so broken. Like, I'm starting something where I can literally make unlimited income. Unlimited income. Like, I wish I could tell you how much money Nicole made her first 5 weeks, but I don't want to get in trouble with compliance. But it's a lot. It's amazing what she did her first 5 weeks. But the truth is, she's been taking consistent action for 14 years. That's why she's crushing it. That's why she's having success. So you have to realize it's like compound interest, right? It's that butterfly effect where over time you're going to build something, but it starts with just taking those daily disciplines and turning them into habits where I feel weird if I don't do a piece of content in a day. I feel weird if I don't lift weights. All right. So I hope this got you excited. I hope you get with your upline, you get with your mentor, you map out a goal, because there's no reason why 2025 can't be your best financial year ever. There's no reason. This economy is getting back on track, right? People are feeling more and more optimistic because there's been some changes in the world, right? There's been some changes. So I think there's a lot of people that are going to look at opportunities. And there's a lot of people, obviously, look, what do you think the top New Year's resolution is? That's right. Get in shape, lose weight. How many of you have a product that could help people? You sell solutions. That's what you sell. You sell solutions. We solve problems for profits. That's what we do. And then guess what the number 2 New Year's resolution typically is in the new year? Anybody want to guess? Make more money. Hello. We're like in the perfect business to help people with both. So anyway, Nicole, I appreciate you. You're absolutely smashing it. Anything else you want to share before we wrap this up today for Money Monday?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. You just got to keep showing up. You got to be consistent. Don't overthink any of it. Like people there are some days I post like 6 times. And just because I have something, I have something on my mind and I just posted, I'm like, sometimes I'll say, I know I just posted an hour ago, but I have something else to say, and so don't be like, but I'm only supposed to do 3 times a day, or just do you. Don't worry about all of that. Just do what feels right. Because the next day I might only post twice. So you just don't overthink any of this. Just have fun, be you, share your story, add value, be the person you would want someone else to be. Customers say to me, I so appreciate that you're not trying to sell me the highest package. I'm like, no, I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what your budget is. And I want to fit this in to help you get started. And they say, you've always been there, never pushing me. Like, I'm not a pushy salesperson. I am a mom at home that are using products that are working, and I just want to share them. And so you just have to be yourself, and you just be the person that if someone's coming to you as a salesperson, like, how would you want to be approached? And you be that person.
Yeah. And another thing too, and I love that Julie said this, posting your stories. If you're ever nervous about posting something on your social media, throw it in your stories. You can always test it out that way. Some of the best conversations I've had are actually from things I posted in my stories, and sometimes here's what's also crazy. Sometimes something does really well on my stories on Facebook, but not on Instagram. And by the way, vice versa. Like, you just have no idea who's watching, when they're watching, what's going to hit, what's going to click. And I think there's a lot of people out there that just want to know exactly what to do every day. So go to our resources page, mylifestyleacademy.com/resources. We have a ton of free resources over there. It's insane to the membrane, but that's our 60-minute fame tracker where you can literally work your business, do power hours, right? 60 minutes a day. If you're not working your business at least 1 hour a day, like, what are you doing? You have 24 hours in a day. 24 hours, you need 7 or 8 hours of sleep, 7 or 8 hours of work. Maybe you work out, time with your spouse, your kids, whatever. There's definitely a couple hours in there where you were just wasting time. So instead of consuming content, create content. Instead of being caught in the scroll hole, right? Do something productive. Start some freaking conversations. Anyway, Nicole, I appreciate you. You're on fire. Can't wait to see you. Is it next month? No, January, right?
Yep.
January in Orlando. It's going to be awesome. So thank you. You're crushing it. Congrats on all your success to you and your team. And we'll see you next Monday, y'all. Hasta luego. See ya.